I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 30th of October, 2022, and this is my vlog of daily life in Leon, Nicaragua. And today is Sunday. We are celebrating Halloween. I had to think, what holiday comes this week? It is Halloween, and we had been planning on possibly doing this yesterday. Thankfully, we didn't because of all the stuff going on. It is quite a hectic weekend, but today we are celebrating Halloween with our kids, and our friend Marcella is coming up to the house with her kids and their cat, Fido, and we are celebrating Halloween with a big party at the house. A big party, just a small group of us, but really neat because we never get to do this kind of stuff, and the kids really miss having these kinds of events and just stuff like this, right? So it's a really big deal for her kids and our kids to be doing this. And of course, most kids in Nicaragua don't really celebrate Halloween. It's not that it's completely unknown or uncelebrated, but it's not a big piece of the culture, so they don't really get to do too much of this in the way that Americans tend to. So that we're doing kind of an American style Halloween a little bit here in Nicaragua is pretty cool. I should also mention that we are scheduled tomorrow morning. We're going to look at one of the houses that we looked at last week, the one that I went to look at actually on Friday morning. I didn't even get to mention this last week because there was so much going on the video for last week. But I think I mentioned it yesterday. We went and looked at a house in Fatima and determined that it was not something we were interested in. But then we talked about it and decided we did need to see it. And so that's scheduled that we're going to go see it tomorrow. Wow, that's a lot going on. Tomorrow being the 31st. Today is the 30th, Sunday. No houses today. So this morning, pretty much everyone got up and the entire day was logistics for the party. I had to make, and this is several hours, so my entire day pretty much was tied up heading out to supermarkets all over the place doing shopping for Luciana and Dominica, who are baking all day or cooking or whatever. They sent me first to La Colonia, then they sent me to Maxi Pali, then they sent me back to La Colonia. So much stuff that I needed to get, bags of ice, different baking ingredients, food for the whatever. So that was going on all day. I got a lot of exercise walking around, but it was exhausting and very hot. Marcella and most of the kids, Liesel and Valentina and Tafari, they spent the day doing house decorations. So they were putting up big spiders on the ceilings and bats on the walls and blowing balloons and all kinds of decorations and stuff all around the house. They did a great job and had a lot of fun doing that. And they got this big blow up Halloween tree thing that was really cool. So that was really cool. And obviously those things all came from Nicaragua. So there are decorations for Halloween here. Like, it's not that it doesn't exist, it's just that it's not a major thing. Like, people don't sit around thinking about it or planning Halloween parties, but if you want to throw one, the things exist. So they did that, and Luciana and Dominica went into the kitchen and spent the whole day making food, whether it was the actual food for dinner, which was pasta, pretty simple main food, and then the big thing is like all kinds of decorated Thanksgiving Halloween treats. So my personal favorite was these little like pumpkin balls. So they're actually like a really sweet peanut butter thing with decorated like a pumpkin. Luciana did those. She and I really like those. They did brownies with like marshmallow ghosts on them, caramel apples. I don't even remember all the different things. There was a lot of different food items. Plus, in all the trips to the grocery stores and stuff, we got chips and dip and all those kinds of things. So it was a very busy day getting all these things done. All of us were working the entire day putting this whole party together. It was pretty intense. Paul got back from Managua late this afternoon, so he's back for the party. It was a lot. There's just a lot of pieces going on. And then around about, I want to say between 6 and 7, we actually kind of started the party and hung out and had food and put on the Apple Music Halloween music mix and just hung out for a while. And lots of the dogs were having a great time, and they were running around, and the kids were playing with the dogs a lot, and we did some pictures. And then once everyone was kind of a little bit tired, everyone was tired. There was so much going on today to get ready for this that by the time we actually had the party, everyone was pretty tired and hot and worn out, and we were ready for Halloween movies. Our kids really wanted to do like super scary movies, but Marcella's kids are younger and not really prepared for the kind of movies that our kids would want to watch. So they settled on Coraline, which I've never seen and I didn't really watch this time. And they watched it and they really enjoyed that. And that was something that Marcella's kids knew well enough that they could watch it in English without it being a problem. And our kids didn't really know it so well. So watching it in English, they were able to follow. So everyone enjoyed that and watched it in the air conditioning, which was nice because it was a pretty hot day. Marcella's kids are used to Managua, which is quite a bit cooler than Leon. Although while I'm recording this is a gorgeous day. It is a really nice breeze. I say it and I'm like, wow, it feels great. But typically here in Leon, it gets pretty warm. So something to be aware of. But it was a really fun party. Like the whole thing, like everyone chipped in and you know, a huge amount of the fun was getting ready for it, right? Oh, and of course they all did face painting as part of the party. So Marcella's kids are younger, so they were really into that. And my kids have always just loved face painting. And even Liesel, who's just about to turn 14 in a few weeks, oh my gosh, almost exactly 4 weeks from today, she still gets into that stuff and enjoys it. She wouldn't go out and do face painting on her own, but doing it with the kids, she finds it fun. So, and you know, we remember back when I was working at Bridgewater, we used to go to the Bridgewater events and the kids just loved doing face painting. They had so much fun with that. Now, I do have to mention, while I was walking today, my Tevas, my really good quality sandals that I wear all the time, came apart. They just came apart. Like that was just the end of them. It was ridiculous. The soles came right off. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything with that here, but it's only so long until we go back to the States. But I really need sandals. Like being without it is a problem. That is 3 pair that I've eaten through since we've been down here. That's a little bit dramatic. So yeah, that really sucks. I am now without sandals, which makes going to the beach really hard. Because you really don't want to take sneakers or whatever to the beach. And my sandals are kind of my dress-up shoes. They're not dressy, obviously, but it's like down here, everything's hot and people wear sandals and they're nice quality sandals. So if you wear those, as long as you don't wear socks, it's a dress shoe kind of thing to some degree. It's not a sneaker, at least. So not having them really limits my attire just a bit. So one more thing we have to deal with. I've been planning on getting a new pair. When I got back, it was on my shopping list, but now we have to. So something that happened while we were having the party, at some point I had to run back and forth to the office. And at one point I ran over to the office and I looked down the street and I swore I saw Fito, the kitten, on the street. And I looked at him and I called and he disappeared into a hole in the wall, into a house. And I said, uh-oh. I think that was Fito, and I think he escaped because he was staying in the apartment, and I think someone had left the door open. Maybe me, but I don't think so. But I was paying attention. I was like, wait, and so I ran in, looked all over for him, couldn't find him, ran back to the house, grabbed Marcella. She ran, started looking for him. She's like, I can't find him. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this was him. And we spent a good 30 minutes trying to track down this cat. He had gone into someone's home, was hanging out with another cat, a few houses down from us. Luckily, some people had seen him and everyone knew who the shop owners were, and we know them to some degree. So even though it was late at night, it was like 10 o'clock at night, we're grabbing people, and eventually Fito came out, and thank goodness he didn't get hit because he doesn't live in a place where he has to deal with traffic. He ran out onto the street, onto 4th Ave, which is the main street in Laborio. Really dangerous, but it was late at night, so it wasn't terrible traffic. I ran out to block traffic, and Marcella was able to grab him eventually. But that was really close to losing that poor little kitten. And he's a bit of an adventurous soul, but this was all a scary experience for him in a new place that he has been to, but not very much, and he doesn't really know where to go. And the road was just more than he knew how to deal with, and he didn't know how to find his people. And it was just... could have been really bad. Thank goodness we managed to get Fito back. That would have been really bad. So that was our adventure for Halloween. We didn't go very late. I mean, we're all either very young or very old, so we're happy to call it an early night, more or less. But we did have a really nice time. It was very cool. And we got a very busy week coming up. I'm doing everything I can to catch up on the videos. Wow, am I behind? Or not really behind, but just behind the 8 ball, really pushing hard to get things done so that I have videos for you guys. So not a lot of adventurous footage this week. I kind of have to work around what I have because I am so busy and swamped and recording shows in big batches. But and hopefully the camera keeps working. Every time I watch one of these, it's in terrible shape. Its gyroscope is gone. It's like the accelerometer's messed up, and it's jumping all around, having so many glitches. We'll be lucky if we make it through much longer with this camera. And yeah, that is about it for today. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave your comments below. Ask your questions, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee directly with the link down in the description. And remember to share on social media with all of your friends. Tell people about the show. We're going to do the throwback in just a minute. I will see all of you tomorrow. All right, it's time for the throwback. I'm trying all these different ways of filming with different cameras and stuff while I get stuck in my office. I'm trying to at least make it a little bit interesting for you guys and not make this too much of a routine and keep it kind of short. So today is just 2 days. This is 3 years ago to October 30th, 2019. It is just 2 days until I'm heading to Nicaragua with Alan and Rachel. Rachel needs to get packed and moved out of her apartment, and she hasn't started yet. She held us off until tomorrow. She's literally doing it on the last day because we leave on the 1st. Tomorrow's the 31st. Put the math together. There is no time to move her. She also has to pack for a trip. She's not used to doing international travel. She's done international travel, but she doesn't do a lot of it. So she is not going to be ready in any way, shape, or form. This is not a great plan that she has going on. We're really kind of nervous about this. I am staying behind. I have to for work and stuff. There's no way I can go with the family, who got up this morning and headed off to Houston, where they're going down to spend the weekend with the family. Today's the 30th. They've got the full Halloween tomorrow. They're celebrating, and they're coming back on the 1st in the morning, hopefully in time to take me to the airport and to see Alan and see off Rachel and everything. So that is the plan, but we also are prepared for them not to make it, but they're hoping to make it, and they want to see me before they leave as well. Liesel got up at 5 o'clock this morning in the hopes of getting 4 or 5 hours in on her video game that she is working. She's doing RPG Maker. I've mentioned that in the throwback and in the original episodes a number of times, that she's still really into it, to the point where she got herself up at 5 o'clock in the morning with an alarm of her own accord, just so she could get several hours of work in on her video game before they went off to see their cousins for Halloween in Houston. That's crazy. We're so proud of her. That was so cool to remember that she did that, and that she did that in the first place. I am home taking care of Mia. Mia is still a nervous wreck and a huge problem in my life, but we hope that she is going to be getting better. And at the time that we did this recording, we were talking about potentially having the family go to Vegas for Christmas 2019. And of course, we did not talk the family into that. A whole bunch of people, it wasn't like us trying to talk the family into it, but a lot of people in the family were talking about it. It was a consideration, and it did not fly. It's weird, though, looking back, because all this stuff in the throwback was happening months before, like 3 months before COVID hit. So there's so many things. It was like, oh, we were talking about this travel. We were talking about doing cruises for Christmas. Like, we were trying to find some way to shake up Christmas. And that was really our last normal shot at Christmas. We had Christmas in 2019, 2020, 2021. They were pretty rough trying to make that happen. So it's weird looking back at what was at that time, and seeing the world just before COVID hit. Like, I don't know. I find it very interesting to see all the way that we were thinking about things at that time, and so quickly it would change. And things like, oh, let's go to Vegas for Christmas is not something that would cross anyone's mind now, for many reasons. What a different world just 3 years makes. And looking back, I hope that, especially when my kids watch this in the distant future, that they look back and really see how much we had certain life plans, and how much we had put into place thinking certain things were going to happen, and what we had been prepared for, and how much planning we had, and whatever. And that COVID just took so much of that away. And we really had to just kind of start over with our thinking on everything we were going to do with our lives, where we were going to live, when we were going to go places. We lost our Disney trip. We lost a Vegas trip. We lost cruises. We lost so much time with family, so many times with friends, places that we lived changes. The people that we lived near changed everything. Rachel will move shortly after this to Belgium, all kinds of things. Such life changes. And COVID is certainly not the only thing that caused that. 3 years causes a lot of change anyway, but what a dramatic time. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. All that stuff, we already talked about it. You guys know what to do. We do this routine every day, but please, it makes a huge difference. I will see all of you tomorrow.